Hi, this is Tina Monk with Natural Suds and More, and this is how I line my wood loaf molds. I buy freezer paper, and I just rip off a chunk. I always guess about what length I need. I've done this so much I just eyeball it. But I rip off a longer piece and do 4-inch strips. And these are the ones that go down the length of the mold to cover the ends. And I make 4-inch marks at the bottom and at the top of the paper. And then I just turn the paper and then use the T-square as a straight edge. Just line up the marks and draw a line. Now I use the whole 4-inch sheet. I like it. It adds durability and it's easier to pull your soaps up out of the mold. But you don't have to do the whole really long strip underneath. As long as your ends are covered, that's all you need. But this is what works for me. And I've got the shiny side up here, but you could also make the marks on the other side, that way since that side won't be against your soap. But since this paper curls, I use the T-square to hold it down so I can cut it easier. Yeah, so however wide your molds are, if they're 3 inches wide, you're going to cut 3-inch strips. And my molds are actually 15 inches long, so I just take a shorter piece of paper and I make marks at 15 inches on the bottom and then a 15 inch on closer to the top of the paper. And then I just turn it, line it up, draw a line, and cut it. Yes, that's my parrot being noisy in the background. I did just 2 sheets of paper here, but I normally will do 8 at a time, enough for 8 molds. Well, that's how I measure and cut them up. Then I just take that 4-inch strip, put it down, and I crease it at the top and then at the edges and the bottom. If you don't do the creases at the bottom, you will end up with rounded soap. It's not horrible or bad, it's just your preference. I just like mine to be squared off. And I'm just using electrical tape to tape the paper down, but use whatever you have. And like I said, you don't have to use the whole long sheet. You can just use a piece just to cover the ends if you want. I just like it because it's easier to pull the soap up out of the mold that way. My boyfriend actually makes these molds too, and he makes them with a latch, so the side breaks away so that you can really easily get the soap out. If you use silicone molds, you don't have to do any of this, but I really like this method, and I like how the wood loaf molds insulate and how sturdy they are. And these have lasted a really long time. And I just hate trying to pry soap out of silicone molds. So this is just the method that I prefer. And then you take your other sheet that fits the length, which mine is 15 inches. And you just do the exact same thing, but the other way. And when you rip off your freezer paper, if you get it too long, you can always trim it with scissors, but if you get it too short, you're going to have to do it again, so little excess is okay. Unless you want to get really particular and measure each piece as you're ripping it off, which I don't care to do that. But after you've done this enough, you'll just eyeball it and say, oop, that's about what I need. And these molds that my boyfriend makes are really great, but they do allow air to seep in on the sides at the ends. So what I do to prevent the soda ash from getting on the sides of the soap is just wrap the whole mold in plastic wrap. You know, this does take a few minutes to do, but I just love how the soaps turn out, and they have square bottoms, and they're easy to pull out of the molds. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe for more videos, and please follow me on Instagram at Natural Suds and More. Thank you.